So an old joke, you know it's old because HMOs are in it. You ever hear the old story about the 3 doctors who came to the pearly gates? The admitting angel said, "What were you?" First one said, "I was a cardiologist." "Come right in," said the angel. Second one said, "I was a pediatrician." "Come right in," said the angel. Third one said, "I worked for an HMO." The angel replied, "You can come in, but only for 3 days." This is one of my favorite Torah portions. I'm only going to give a brief sermonette. Tomorrow morning, it's all about sexuality and sex, the Holy Alphabet. It's about childbirth. In fact, at 8:45, we'll be discussing that. Its name is Tazria, which means when she produces seed, meaning when she gives birth to a child. That when a woman gives birth, the opening verse says, the mother should withdraw from the community. She should stay outside the camp with her child. If she has a boy, for 7 days. If she has a girl, for 14 days. We'll discuss why tomorrow. And then, and only then, after 7 or 14, should she re-enter the community. Why? Generations of male rabbis, because until 1972, and we've been a people for thousands of years, it was all guys, they've tried to understand this passage. And I won't go into it tonight. Tomorrow I will, what the men said about menstrual cycles. Very interesting. But they have not succeeded. My favorite in rabbinical school was studying Mishnah and Talmud passages related to menstrual cycles. They were all written by men. Male rabbis from our sainted tradition have said that the woman was to withdraw from the community because she is, as Sophie will read tomorrow, tameh, ritually impure. She's not tahor. So she has to withdraw from the community because she is ritually impure. She's been on that threshold between life and death when you give birth. She's created new life, and so she must stay away from the sanctuary until she is ritually pure again. Maybe that's what it means. If so, then I think our reaction has to be, isn't there another possibility? I mean, we no longer take the laws of tameh, of purity and impurity, very seriously because for all practical purposes, these laws disappeared with the destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago. Let's face it. Unless you are someone like temple member Moyle, that's a ritual circumciser, and male obstetrician Dr. Michael Edelson, men know very little about childbirth. Most of us are more like the man who signed up for the Lamaze class with his wife, goes to all the classes with his Lamaze team, goes with his wife. The husband practices helping his wife with the exercises, goes into the delivery room, goes through the whole birthing procedure. Finally, the doctor says, "It's a girl." And the father replies, "Thank God she'll never have to go through the experience that I just went through." The truth is that with all the Lamaze classes, with all the shared parenting we have today, men are still witnesses, observers, bystanders of the birthing process. Men stand on the sidelines. We're excluded from the experience of giving birth. So men don't really ever fully understand what a woman feels or experiences when she gives birth, but a woman certainly does. And years ago, when I took one of the confirmation classes, it may have been Lena Kirk's, to Congregation B'nai Jeshurun on the Upper West Side, I heard the greatest insight I've not shared on this Torah portion from a female rabbi named Anne. forget her last name. She reflected on her own birthing experience. And she said that even before she became pregnant, she dreamed that someday she would study with her child, but she never realized the lessons she would learn from her 4-week-old daughter. There's a passage in the Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avot, which asks the question, who is rich? Eze hu ashir. And the answer the rabbis give rhetorically is, hasameach bechelko, the one who is content with whatever he or she has, just grateful. So Rabbi Ann writes, I never really understood that passage or this Tazria thing about childbirth until my 4-week-old daughter taught me what it meant. Emma doesn't want anything that she doesn't need. Unlike me, she isn't confused about the difference between something you want to buy and something you really need. She doesn't believe that if she doesn't get a raise or an A or a new car or dress, that it will be the end of the world. Her only demands, which she does insist on very vocally, are for food, sustenance, attention, and care, which are the things that she really needs in order to survive. Otherwise, she's truly sameach bechelka, grateful and content and satisfied with what she has. When she cries, it's only in order to let the world know that she's hungry or that she needs sustenance. It is not in order to manipulate, threaten, or demean something or demand something like, what are we having for dinner tonight? Oh, I don't want that. What would it be like if we lived that way? What if we screamed, yelled, demanded, and insisted that we get the things we really need, but didn't make such a big fuss about the things we would like to have, but that we don't really need to have? What if we really were able to accept the fact that things are generally just fine the way they are? Which brings us back in closing to that first line in Leviticus 13, that a woman, after she gives birth to a child, has to withdraw from the community for 7 or 14 days. I'm not sure the male rabbis got it right. I think Rabbi Ann got it right. Perhaps it was not only because of the law of purity and impurity. Perhaps it was so that these two creatures, mother and child, one of whom has created the other, one of whom has lived inside the other for 9 months, could bond, be together, embrace, get to know each other, focus on each other, and learn to begin to separate from each other. For birth is, in a sense, the first separation. As Anne says so beautifully, that which has been inside you is now separate from you. And this is only the first of the many future separations that lie ahead if you've ever been a parent. The child will someday be weaned and will no longer need to drink its mother's milk in order to live. This child will someday learn how to stand and walk without holding on to you. And then this child will someday leave preschool, kindergarten, first grade. She'll go to overnights at a friend's house, go to Jewish summer camp without you. She may become bat mitzvah. And then this child will someday marry a stranger and leave you. That's just a joke. So for the first week or for the first 2 weeks, the wisdom of Torah is, let the mother and child be together. Let them bond. Let them recollect the time that they spent together within one body. Let them just be grateful. Tazria gives women permission to withdraw, to rest, and just to be with their child and with their God, because God never feels so close as at the moment of birth. In an age in which everybody's texting and bored and looking for the next want, not the need. In an age in which women can give birth on a Monday, go home from the hospital on a Tuesday, and have a dinner party on Thursday. The Torah gives a woman time to which men are perhaps entitled as well. Time in which just to be amazed at what we've created with God's help, to be grateful for the miracle of our lives. Amen.